People are naturally curious and want to find answers to the big questions in the world that are just out of reach. Our unquenchable interest drives us to learn more about everything around us, from the tiniest particle to the big picture of space. But what happens when our interest forces us to face things we can't even imagine? To ask questions that make us question everything we know about the world. For many years, scientists have looked up into the sky and tried to understand how big the universe is. They are, however, facing a very serious problem. We can only see so much from Earth. How could it not be? But does that mean we'll never really know what the limits of the world are? Another scary question is whether there really is an end to this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe before we go into the unknown of space. Come with us as we uncover the universe's biggest mysteries one discovery at a time. Even though it looks like we can see forever, our view of the stars is actually very limited. The many stars and planets that shine in the night sky are only a small part of what's out there. The visible universe is what we can see from Earth. It is a small part of the huge space that surrounds us. A thing called the observation horizon, on the other hand, caps this look. We've gotten information from farther away than this point since the beginning of the universe, 13.8 billion years ago. Don't let this number fool you, though it doesn't mean that the universe stops 13.8 billion light-years away. In fact, the world is always growing, stretching the very fabric of space. In turn, this means we can see much farther, about 46.6 billion light-years into the stars. Now for the important question, can we ever really figure out how the universe works? Can we go as far as it goes, or are we limited by the way space and time work? That's why we need to ask ourselves another question: is there really an end to the universe? Is it possible for something as big and empty as the world to have a limit? We really don't know. One of the biggest secrets is still the shape of the universe, including how big it is and how it is put together. Some people say the universe is round, while others say it's flat. Still, some people think it might look like a donut, a trumpet, or something even stranger. And this is what makes me crazy. To be infinity is not the same as to have no limits. The world may have a finite size, but that doesn't mean it can't be infinite. To get this, picture an ant moving on top of a balloon. It will never reach an edge, no matter how far it goes. The ant will think it is going on a surface that never ends. We all know that the blimp has a sharp edge, though. But the world might be even more like this than we think: complex, limitless, and much stranger than a simple balloon. There are some researchers who think the universe might have an edge. This idea may seem easy at first, but it's not. The chaotic inflation theory by Russian cosmologist Andrei Linde says that our universe is only a small part of a much bigger, infinite cosmos. You could imagine that our universe is just a tiny bubble in a long chain of other worlds, each with its own rules and constants. It's an amazing thought that might completely alter how we understand reality. But the question of when the world will end isn't just about space, it's also about time. It doesn't matter if we believe in theories like the Big Crunch, the Big Rip, or the Big Freeze. The world will end one day. Scientists are still not sure how it will happen, but most of them agree that the universe will keep growing forever. The idea of the Big Freeze is very scary. Galaxies will move farther apart as the universe grows. The stars are going to go out. There won't be any new stars. Light will spread and fade until there is just cold emptiness left. Then, if protons break down, even the building blocks of matter will be gone, leaving only black holes. Now, though, this is where things get interesting. Is this the end or the start of something new? Some people think that the end of the universe could be the beginning of a new cycle in which the universe is born again. Maybe the world is always going through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth instead of having a final end. It's possible that the Big Bang wasn't the start of things, but rather the end of something else. Call it a big bounce. What if the loop never ends? There is information to back up this idea. The sky is filled with the same amount of cosmic microwave background radiation, CMBR, which is the oldest light in the world. But here's the puzzle: it seems like the radiation is the same everywhere, even in places where things couldn't have touched in the last 13.8 billion years. How is it possible? Could it be that the universe was once a single, linked thing that started to get bigger? Some experts, like Paul Steinhardt, say that we need to completely change how we think about the Big Bang. What if time has always been there and the Big Bang was just the beginning of a loop that will never end? Now, if this is true, the world might be stuck in a never-ending cycle of birth and death. Imagine an endless world where everything starts over all the time and each beginning is just the continuation of a much bigger, timeless rhythm. If this idea is true, it could change the way we think about time, space, and even the nature of reality itself. Could we one day find out that the journey of the world is circular instead of straight, a dance of making and breaking things that has been going on forever? And as we learn more about these ideas, we have to ask, what does it mean for us if the world is stuck in this never-ending cycle? Are we just brief parts of a story that will never end? Does it really matter if we understand how everything fits into the big picture? Or is it the search for answers that gives our lives meaning and makes us want to reach for the stars? It's your turn now. What do you think? Does the world really go on forever, or does it have a final, unchangeable end? Could it be that the end of the universe is just the beginning of something new? Are we just looking into the unknown? Will we ever fully understand the universe? Are we doomed to search for all time, or will we finally find out what the universe is all about? In what ways do these options affect us as people? Are we just watching this giant play in space, or do we have a hand in making the universe's story? Should we face the idea of infinity? If so, what would that mean for our place in the universe? Let us know what you think. Leave your thoughts and ideas in the box below. What do you think will happen to the universe? Is there really a big bounce? If you want to see more interesting things about space, don't forget to watch the other videos mentioned here. Thanks for coming along with us on this exciting trip. That's all for now. We'll see you again soon, maybe at the very edge of the universe or right before the next big bounce starts.